But before we get started, let me ask you, have you ever stepped on the scale and saw it go up, let's say 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and you started stressing that it was what you ate the day before that caused this gain, and you thought that this was you gaining fat? If you did, please leave a comment, let me know, then watch this video, then write what you think actually happened. Hello everybody, this is Maria Brilagi. I'm the founder of the Fitness Reloaded Weight Loss Habits Academy, and today I want to discuss water fluctuations and what the difference is between losing water weight versus losing weight because you're actually losing fat, which is what we really care about, okay? Let's say you go on the scale, okay, and you see the scale is 2 pounds up or 2 pounds down, okay, suddenly within a day. Does that mean that you either gained or lost fat, 2 pounds of fat in one day? No. This is not what that means, okay? So what you care about when you're trying to lose weight is that you become smaller, right? You want to trim all the fat so that you lose dress sizes. And that will happen when you lose fat, but it will not happen if you're losing water weight, okay? So let's discuss what's really going on and also the 9 factors that make some people have higher water fluctuations than others, okay? And also how to differentiate between water weight and actually losing weight because you're losing fat. So let's start from the basics. Let's say that you have a normal weight of around 200 pounds, okay? 200 pounds, and then tomorrow you're 202 pounds. That's what the scale says. Well, if you were to actually, let's say, gain 2 pounds of fat, let's assume that your maintenance calories are around 2,000 calories a day. What that means is that you need to consume around 2,000 calories on a daily basis for you to neither gain weight nor lose weight, okay? Now, if you were to actually gain 2 pounds of fat, then because 1 pound of fat is roughly equivalent to 3,500 calories, so 2 pounds of fat, that would mean 7,000 calories. That means that on top of your regular maintenance calories, you will need to have a surplus of 7,000 calories. So that means 2,000 calories for your maintenance calories plus 7,000 calories, that's your surplus, okay? So in a single day, you would have to consume 9,000 calories to actually walk on the scale the next day and see 2 pounds up, and these 2 pounds to be attributed to you gaining fat, okay? Now, 9,000 calories for a 2,000 calorie person is more than 4 days worth of food. Okay, so that's not just what is happening. So if you do go on the scale and the scale is 2 pounds down, the scale is 2 pounds up, chances are you didn't eat 4 days worth of food the day before, okay? That's not what happened. What happened is this is a very, very clear sign that you have water fluctuations, and that is normal. At the same time, if the scale is 2 pounds down, okay, let's say today you're the 200 pound person, you went on a diet, okay, and the next day you weigh yourself and you're 2 pounds down and you're like, success, I lost 2 pounds in my first day of dieting. Did you really lose 2 pounds? No, it's virtually impossible, because even if you were to eat nothing, 0 calories, okay, that would bring you to a 2,000 calorie deficit, okay, so your maintenance calories are at 2,000, you eat nothing, okay, let's say all day you drink water. Please don't do that. But for the sake of this example, you eat nothing. 0 calories. So you have 2,000 calories. That's, remember, 1 pound of fat is roughly equivalent to 3,500 calories. So in order for you to lose that, you need to eat 3,500 calories less. Okay, so even if you were to eat nothing, that's 2,000 calories. So you're way less than the 3,500 mark for 1 pound. Let alone the 7,000 calories that you will need to actually lose 2 pounds of fat, okay? So if you start your diet today and you weigh yourself tomorrow and the scale is down, you haven't lost 2 pounds of fat or 3 pounds of fat or even 1 pound of fat, okay? There's something else going on, and that has to do with your water weight, okay? So let's talk about what that is, okay? And because some people might see great fluctuations, might see 4 pounds up, 3 pounds down, and some other people will not see that big fluctuations or not as often, okay? So let's discuss what affects those fluctuations. Who is more likely to see them? Your water weight has a lot to do with how muscular you are, so body composition plays a big role. What that means is that the more muscle you have, actually, the higher the chances that you'll see higher fluctuations on your weight. And now we can break that down into further factors. So for example, the younger you are, the higher the fluctuations you're gonna get. Why? Because you have more muscle. So if you're a young adult, you're way more likely to see those water fluctuations versus if you're a 90-year-old adult who suffers from sarcopenia. The next factor is gender. Because of body composition, men have about 60% of their weight come from water weight, while women is between 50 and 55%. That again has to do with muscle. The next factor is high intensity interval training or endurance training. So if one day you do a lot of exercise, and that's a very intense exercise, very intense exercise, or if you're doing endurance exercise, so you exercise for a prolonged period of time, that will directly go and tap into your glycogen stores, okay? And we'll discuss what that is, because now it's becoming important, because we're also going to discuss low carb diets and what that does to your water weight. Okay, so what is glycogen? So when your body consumes carbohydrates, these turn into glucose, okay? And then if your body does not need all the glucose it is getting straight away, then it's gonna take that glucose and store it mostly in your liver and in your muscles in the form of glycogen, okay? Now, here's what's interesting about glycogen. For every 1 gram of glycogen, you're gonna be storing it together with 3 grams of water, okay? So the moment your body taps into those carbohydrates, stored carbohydrates that are in your muscles and in your liver and also in other parts of your body, but this is usually where most of them are, for every 1 gram that the body is using, you're also getting rid of 3 grams of water, okay? And you will see an immediate change in your weight because of that. So high intensity training and also prolonged exercise directly tap into those stored carbohydrates for energy, okay? Another factor is your consumption of carbohydrates, okay? So if today you start a low carb diet, a really low carb diet, guess what your body is going to do? Likes those carbs, so it's going to tap into those glycogen stores straight away. Again, for every 1 gram of glycogen, you are going to be also getting rid of 3 grams of water, okay? So you're gonna see an immediate dip in your weight. That is not fat loss, it's water weight loss. That's all there is. Once those glycogen stores start getting depleted, okay, and we have around 500, 600 grams of glycogen stored in our body, okay? Now, take, let's say, 600 grams approximately, and because for every 1 gram of glycogen, we have 3 grams of water, that means that we have 3 times multiplied by 600, another 1800 grams of water, okay? So in total, we have 2,400 grams of glycogen that's stored together with water. So the moment you start tapping into this glycogen, you also tap into the water. You're gonna see, let's say, very easily 3 pounds of weight, just it vanishes. Now, once you start depleting those stores, weight loss is going to slow down. Then the scale will start reflecting more about what's going on with your fat loss rather than your weight loss in general, okay? Because the scale does not just measure the weight of your fat. That's why we have this confusion about what is really happening, what am I actually seeing? Now, the next factor is, let's say you have been on a low carb diet and you've been doing that for a while, and now you're like, okay, I'm gonna have this risotto. I'm gonna have carbs, I'm gonna have a lot of carbs. Now, the moment you start reintroducing carbs, your body's like, yay, I'm gonna store them as glycogen. And for every 1 gram of carbohydrates, boom, another 3 grams of water stored. And then the next day you're gonna weigh yourself and you'll be like, this one meal I had this risotto, I gained 2 pounds. Nope. You didn't gain 2 pounds of fat. We discussed that earlier on. In order to gain 2 pounds of fat, remember that what we're just talking about in our example with eating more than 4 days worth of food in a single day? Yeah, that didn't happen, okay? It didn't happen. This is just water being replenished in your body. Now, the next factor is how much salt you're consuming in your diet, okay? If you're consuming a lot of salt, salt tends to cause weight retention, okay? So the advice is to eat less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium on a daily basis. And what is also going to help with on that front is to consume an adequate amount of potassium, okay? So think of potassium as the opposite of salt. Eat your bananas. The next factor that most people do not often think about is getting sore, okay? So you go do some exercise and then you're very sore. I can't walk. Well, what happens, especially when you're getting sore, is there are micro injuries in your muscles, okay? And that is actually what makes your muscles grow. Now, you don't have to be sore to experience that, but inflammation will increase your water content. So that might affect the result you see on the scale. Okay, so if you are trying to lose weight and you're also working out, of course, working out affects your water content also because of what we talked about earlier with high intensity training and endurance exercise, and also sweat, which I didn't mention before. Sweat. The more you sweat, the lower your water content. So if you are doing exercise is generally messing things up with your water weight. And finally, the last factor is you weigh yourself sometimes in the morning and sometimes at night. If you're doing it first in the morning, you're more dehydrated than what was going on the night before, okay? So pick a time, ideally first thing in the morning, and stick to that. To sum up, if you're seeing 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds in a single day, that is not losing fat, okay? Most people, when they're losing fat, they're losing on average of 0.15 pounds on a daily basis. Now, for you to see this 0.15, okay, on the scale, you need to accumulate a lot of days of being of losing fat for this to actually show on the scale, because the scale is not sensitive enough to pick up on this small amount of fat loss, okay, on a daily basis. And at the same time, because the scale also measures not just the weight of your fat, but the weight of your body in general, okay, weight of your skeleton, the weight of your organs, like the weight of everything, then it's very difficult to differentiate fat loss from everything else that's going on in your body. That's why you need a lot of days. So with my clients, I tell them, listen, what you're doing today and every day, you will see it, maybe see it show up on the scale 2 weeks from now. In the meantime, the scale is going to do its own thing. But within 2 weeks, you should start to see the daily numbers to change, okay? That's what I tell my clients. So do not think that the things you eat today or don't eat today are responsible for fat loss that you think you see on what the scale says on the next day, okay? This is not how it works. This is water weight. We don't care about water weight because water weight, like I said before, will not drop your dress sizes. And now that you've watched this video, don't forget to leave that comment we were talking about before and tell me what you thought happened versus what you now think actually happened. So I hope the confusion around water weight loss and actual fat loss has been clarified. If you did like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.